What's going on, y'all? I'm so hyped to talk about my boy Necrozma and the really cool changes and buffs I've made to him. Before I get into explaining my thought process behind the type change, the stat tweaks, and most importantly, the abilities, the way those work, and all of the cool new move changes, I want to get I want to clarify a few things. So first of all, if you're new here, pause the video, read the description. I've got a bullet point list that goes over all of the basic like key points of the ROM hack and the way it's balanced. So make sure you do that. But also, when you're done with the video, you can check out all my other videos I have on all the other Pokemon in the game, over the background of the game, and then I also have a Google Sheet with super thorough Google Sheet where I document everything in the game. Most importantly, the move guide where I go over every single move, buff, and change in the game, and you can just scroll and read through that. Super useful, super easy to navigate. So make sure you do that. Excuse me. So, Necrozma. Okay, first things first, typing. Technically, Dark is the evil type, dudes. Shut up. Like, you're right, technically, yes, but shut up. And then also, Necrozma. Because I know somebody's gonna be like, Necrozma, it's hard. If you think this way, I'm not trying to like mock you in like a malicious way. It's just my sense of humor. I'm sorry, I know it's condescending. Let me actually explain also more, because like he fits both definitions, like both interpretations of the dark typing. There's the literal interpretation, like the English speaking. A lot of people will think, okay, black Pokemon equals dark type, which like I don't always agree with that, for the record. Although I will say with Luxray and stuff, there's a whole different argument there. But with Necrozma, and God, I know somebody's gonna be like, well, Fairy is technically the light type, so why not make it Fairy? And it's like, nah, man, like you're losing the plot. I think, what's it called? Fucking Ultra Necrozma could actually genuinely be Dragon Fairy. I think it makes a lot of sense. But actual base Necrozma, nah, man. Anyway, so, not only is there the literal interpretation of it, like literally darkening, because it's always looking for light, right? So it's darkening because so like, for example, impurities accumulate within it. It goes on a rampage seeking it out. Its lasers beams will cut anything into pieces. It has an extraordinarily vicious disposition that is constantly firing off laser beams. So that seems to me like it fits the dark typing in terms of the evil typing or whatever, his personality, right? I think that definitely fits. He's not actually evil. We know that, from the plot of Ultra Sun Ultra Moon, he's like looking for light and stuff. But regardless, this motherfucker is still like, still fits the dark type, just because he's in pain and that's why he's so fucking mad all the time and he wants to kill everything. Is just because he wants light. Doesn't mean that, he's not a dark type. So I think he should totally just be dark type. And then of course it makes him really cool offensively with that dual stab and the really cool dark type moves that he gets. Specifically stuff like Twilight Cannon and Night Days and Wicked Blow and all this fun stuff. And that's also, by the way, why he has Ruthless flavor-wise. It's it literally says it word for word, like, well, not word for word, but vicious. He's just constantly rampaging. I wanted to give Berserk, but Ruthless is a little bit better, I would say. And I wanted to keep Weak Armor for speed and Energy Shield for bulk, so it was either Ruthless or Berserk, and Ruthless is a bit better, I think. It's not better inherently, but with his specific move pool, I think Ruthless is a bit better. Because of just like how many cool moves he gets to abuse it with, so yeah, Weak Armor is great. Flavor-wise, he's got like this. I mean, I think it makes sense. Like he's got the Prism armor. He's like kind of like in a dilapidated state, like incomplete state, like disheveled state. So I think Weak Armor makes sense. And then of course it's cool for speed. That's also why I dropped his speed a bit, is to balance out Choice Scarf with 71 base speed. So with your guaranteed 20 IVs on all your eggs and a neutral speed nature, you are hitting 345 speed with Choice Scarf, which is only outspeeding base 107 and below, so that's very reasonable. Anything above 107 you can't outspeed with Choice Scarf unless you get a plus speed nature Necrozma, in which case you're eating. But that's why you use Weak Armor to outspeed other things that are faster than that. Otherwise, Choice Scarf, Ruthless goes crazy and all that good stuff. Energy Shield is super dope, so as you can read, Photon Geyser now heals you by a bunch, so essentially for Photon Geyser, I designed it to be synergizing with Ruthless and Energy Shield. So basically, you heal with your Energy Shield and Photon Geyser, and Photon Geyser normally is 100 power, so 65 power with a crit makes it 97.5, which is basically 100. And then with Ruthless, it becomes an incredibly powerful, like I think 146 base power move that still heals you by half. So obviously, this thing is also really tanky naturally. Keep in mind, Psychic Dark has no resistances. It's kind of hilarious. So that makes, the fact that you're so fucking bulky and you have Energy Shield more than makes up for the fact that you have no resistances. Because, yeah, 137, 109, 109 bulk is insane. BST wise, I opted to keep it on par with a couple of other usable legendaries like Kyurem, Eternatus, and Mewtwo. Those are like that's like the highest BST threshold in the game. And these guys would definitely only be obtainable at level 50 the earliest, and that's like the absolute earliest. Honestly, maybe even like 55. But I would say 50 just because, I don't know, in a Nuzlocke, you're not supposed to be swapping your Pokemon. In a Teamlocked Nuzlocke, you're not supposed to swap your Pokemon out anyways. But anyways, I'm getting distracted. Yeah, Photon Guys is really cool with Ruthless and Energy Shield is the point. And you can also use it for physical or special sets because it, I should probably specify that, shouldn't I? Uses, here I'll also say, uses your higher attacking stat. Just make that font a tiny bit smaller. Yeah. So that's really cool. You can use it for physical or special sets. In terms of other moves, so you have tons of Wicked Blow variants, all of which have the big drawback that they can't be used twice in a row. So you can't just spam Choice Scarf, Ruthless, Necrozma. You can, but you can't switch your move. So you click it once, then you have to switch out, and then you have to find a way to get back in, which isn't that hard to do when you're bulky and you have, 5 other Pokemon you can use to pivot around. You have immunities and stuff. So it's not like undoable or anything, but it's definitely like not as brainless. For example, even like Sweltering Sun, you have infinite eject button, so you just constantly pivot around, and that would be a lot easier to abuse. But now that you don't have that anymore, it's definitely more careful usage. But regardless, Scarf Wicked Blow, Scarf Night Daze, Scarf Subspace Tear, Scarf Soul Crush, Radiant Edge, Stone Edge, Temper Flare, all those are really strong. Not to mention, if you need to OHKO something that's like really tanky and slow, then you can always use like a boosting item with one of those moves. These moves are also good with weak armor because they're good with all your 3 abilities, but they're also good with weak armor because with weak armor, you don't have to run Choice Scarf, so you can switch your moves. So you can click Wicked Blow, and then you can click Subspace Tear, and then you can click Radiant Edge, and then you can click Temper Flare, and you can just keep going. Like, you have so much fucking coverage, which is why weak armor is so goddamn good on this thing, is because it just has so much coverage. You can hit everything super effectively at any point. So all you have to do is just prep accordingly, switch it on a physical move, or even tank one yourself. You can also do like Endure, Pataya Berry, or Lychee Berry, weak armor, or all types of good ways to abuse it. You could even do like Weakness Policy, weak armor, Really, the sky's the limit with weak armor. It's incredibly powerful offensively, and you're not always going to need that big Ruthless boost to kill things because you're already strong, right? 127, 127, and those are still 120 power moves without Ruthless, right? So Ruthless is more just if you want to like either with like lazy prep, like if you just want to blow something up, or for like specific situations, right? But yeah, weak armor is incredible, and Energy Shield is also incredible. You can also technically do some like Energy Shield Dragon Dance stuff, or like. Actually, I don't think I gave him Rock Polish anymore, yeah. Does he get Rock Polish by level up? He does not. He gets Stealth Rock by level up, though. I kind of forgot to give him that, didn't I? I don't want to give Rock Polish because I want to encourage weak armor, but I will give, I guess that's all I didn't give Agility. But I might throw on Stealth Rock somewhere. Just for, yeah, maybe level 20 or some shit. It's not very good, but I mean, it's good for, like, sweeping and stuff, like if there's a Focus Sash or Energy Shield Pokemon. But, it's cool utility. Strength Sap is great utility with Energy Shield, so not only is Photon Geyser healing you a lot, but you can also do, what's it called? Jesus, sorry, I'm losing my train of thought. You can also do, I don't know. But yeah, you have tons of really cool Wicked Blow variants. You also have other guaranteed crit moves like First Impression, Mirror Cutter, Doom Desire, and Future Sight are both stab, dual stab, Psychic and Dark. That's really cool because you can... Let me just add Stealth Rock now so I don't forget. Necrozma. Level 20. Stealth Rock. Sorry guys, 2 seconds. I just don't want to forget. Stealth Rock. Okay. So yeah, that's really, really strong. Not Stealth Rock, I mean, it's very niche, but, Move Learner means you can teach it whenever you need it. Doom Desire, so I guess like with an Energy Shield Stealth Rock, like, utility teleport set, right? Like, then you can switch into your other Pokemon, and now you have set up on your other Pokemon, and then you can like sweep because of the Stealth Rock breaking Focus Sash and stuff. But yeah, you've also got Meteor Impact, which is really cool for utility. That always burns. It's also just a really strong 150 power physical fairy move. Of course, Soul Crush is stronger with Ruthless, and it doesn't deal any recoil. But, if you're using like a weak armor set, you could totally take advantage of Meteor Impact, or just for defensive utility with Energy Shield to burn something. Especially if it's like not, because for example, it's 50% recoil, but if you're only dealing 20% HP and you have a giant HP stat of base 137, then you're not taking any recoil basically. So you can still use it to like burn things. Heat Wave Ruthless is also really good. On top of the Wicked Blow variants. Lash Out is cool because you can actually use Scarf Lash Out and click that twice in a row. Scarf Lash Out Ruthless is 112.5 power, which is pretty strong. very strong. And then Smart Strike is a nice little steal option. You also have a couple 50% crit moves, but those are very gimmicky, niche, like not that good because you're not very fast, so you're only really using those on things that are slower than you, and in those cases you already have, you know, your subspace tear, your other stuff, photon geyser, etc. Although Psycho Cut is good because it's physical, so yeah, a Night Slash is kind of outclassed by Wicked Blow on this Pokemon specifically, but like because of the way that its stats are spread out, but even then you can still use it in some situations. Meteor Beam is pretty cool, very cool with weak armor. Meteor Beam is very good with weak armor. Tons and tons of other coverage moves. I mean, look at the screen, right? He's got every fucking type in the game. Man, I really like Necrozma. I don't know, there's not too much else to talk about, really. You've got other, like, Brutal Swing and Lumina Crash are both, like, regular recoil moves that are stab, physical, and special, respectively. Twilight Cannon and Psycho Boost are great, especially with Energy Shield, but in general, they're just good nuke moves because, number one, you don't get Subspace Tear until later in the game, or Night Days until later in the game, but also, you know, just the fact that they are like reliable, don't require an ability to be 140 power, so there you go, you can do that and then switch out. Like I said, Teleport is great, Strength Sap is great. So the reason I give Strength Sap is because of the whole, like, he's constantly craving energy and light and stuff, you know, he's just, yeah. Man, he's such a fucking cool Pokemon. Like, look at these decks and shit, man, he's somewhat pained as he's raging, searching light. He's just so fucking dope. But yeah, I'm gonna end it off there, y'all. A couple other small things, like again, like that Doom Desire Future Sight is really strong with Ruthless. You could do like a Doom Desire Teleport, Future Sight Teleport set and get like a fucking massive 225 power stab nuke while another Pokemon is in taking the actual hit. And again, he does have the bulk to take hits for sure. So despite having no resistances, it's still really tanky. So yeah, thanks for listening, y'all. I'll be back for more videos coming up. Make sure y'all drop a like if you enjoyed it. You know, leave a comment if you made it to the end. It'd be helpful. Peace.